God is very serious about honor. Extremely serious, to the point that the only thing that could hinder Jesus from moving was a lack of honor. Can you imagine that? That the Lord wants to do a thing in a place. This takes us to when Jesus went to his hometown. And when he went there, the Bible says literally Jesus, before going to his hometown, healing people, opening blind eyes, doing all kinds of amazing stuff, right? But Jesus goes to his hometown and the Bible says he could not do that many miracles. But Jesus goes to his hometown and the Bible says he could not do that many miracles. He could not do that many miracles. He could not do that many miracles.
More reasonably, Jesus could not do many mighty works because it would be strategically and spiritually unwise. He was not hindered, as was mentioned before, in the case of inability or not capable. This is an example of using terms like cannot relative to some goal or process. For example, in certain sports, we might say a player cannot cross a certain line. We don't mean they're physically unable. We mean they cannot cross that line if they want to stay within the boundaries of the game. Miracles may pique the curiosity of seeking people, but when faced with the unexplainable, the hardened heart will make up whatever excuse is necessary to avoid submission. A prophet is identified by the God-powered miracles he performs. If a person has already rejected the prophet, he will reject the miracle, thus becoming even more resistant to the message. This cycle can push people further away from God instead of drawing them near. Since Jesus' intent is to promote faith through his miracles, he cannot, meaning he chooses not to, perform them in Nazareth.
But why is that? Because the people dishonored him. The Bible even says that they refused to believe in him. And so when it says that he could not do many miracles because of their unbelief, but that unbelief was tied to their dishonor. Jesus, and what is that telling us? I refuse to receive new information about you. They looked at Jesus and they were like, oh no, isn't that the son of Mary? Isn't that his brother and sister? They said, we refuse. We already know you, Jesus. How many times do we do that to people in our lives? Somebody hurt you. Somebody disrespected you. Somebody said something, and it could be very extreme. And you've boxed them into that one thing. And you refuse to receive new revelation about them. You see, honor is not, in culture we say that respect is earned. And so we use that same culture and bring it into our faith. Honor is not earned. It is your duty to honor every individual. Because honor is not to worship someone. And to honor is not to accept wrong. But honor is to esteem, to respect. That word even has a sense of to give weight to.
Whatever they can to get the attention off of the truth and off of the imperfection of their own lives. As a consequence of all this, Matthew says in verse 58, Jesus didn't do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. It's not a statement about his inability. It's not like he needed their belief to do mighty works. Jesus obviously was capable of doing miracles apart from someone's belief. I mean, the very fact that he raised people from the dead illustrates that your personal belief is not necessary for God to work a miracle. So this isn't a statement about His incapability of working miracles if people aren't believing. This is just simply a statement about their lack of interest in having Him work in their lives. They just simply didn't believe, and so they didn't ask. They didn't believe, so they didn't come. There were a few, Mark tells us in Mark 6 about this same event, and he said that Jesus did lay His hands on a few people and heal them. Those few who would come and seek His help, He did help them. But the reality is, most wouldn't come. And because they wouldn't come, He didn't work. Which probably became more fuel for their complaints. When He left town, they probably complained even more. Well, He didn't really do much. I mean, I heard all these rumors and all these things. He didn't really show off here. Just became fuel for their criticisms. Mark tells us at the same time, Mark 6:6, that Jesus marveled because of their unbelief. They were astonished at His reputation. He was astonished at their hard-heartedness. He was astonished that they would work so hard to find so many excuses to reject and resist the truth. I mean, how could you, on one hand, say that you are amazed, that you marvel at His wisdom and His mighty works, and on the other hand, not listen to Him? How could that happen? That is astonishing. And so Jesus marvels at their unbelief.